Today, let us see the various facets of unemployment. Unemployment is a social misery, psychological slavery, a bureaucratic scandal, and a national danger. It is a social misery because we have human resources. All nations have excellent human resources, but the problem is the human resources are not considered as a boon, but the population is considered as a burden. Unemployment is a psychological slavery because even though there are so many skilled people, they are unable to come out from the clutches of their mind. They are unable to free their mind. They are unable to face the obstacles in their path. They have to set their mind free in order to cope up the challenges that are there in their path. So, we have to overcome the psychological slavery so that we can fight against this unemployment. Unemployment is a bureaucratic scandal because highly skilled people are replaced by technology and machinery. In many nations, before elections, we can see the promises of politicians. They can assure many number of jobs before elections, but once they got into the position and power, they forget their promise. The politicians intentionally nurture the greatest menace of social disorders, the haves and have-nots, the rich and the poor, by justifying with acceptable unemployment. But the saddest part is, there is no such thing as acceptable unemployment, because hunger is not acceptable, poverty is not acceptable, poor health is not acceptable, and the ruined life is not acceptable. Unemployment is a disease which can infect nations in the form of violence. Unemployment is one of the major causes for violence in nations. So, it has to be prevented. As long as there is an increase in unemployment, there are wars and crimes. Heroes won't show up in our darkest times. We are the heroes of our lives. We have to protect ourselves, we have to protect our family, we have to protect our nations. We may feel miserable about our darkest times, but it is only in our darkest times we know our true strength and potentiality. When we know our true strength, obstacles become nothing. We can overcome all the obstacles in our path, we can break all the barriers in our path. The invisible obstacle in our path is the great stress. Unemployment causes great stress. In times of great stress, make yourself busy and channelize your negative energy into something positive, whether it is positive or negative. Each experience in our life is orchestrated to teach us something to wake up and move forward. So, the most darkest time in our lives, the most difficult time in our life, that is our wake-up call. Do not blame your fate, do not afraid to start. This start gives you the brand new opportunity to rebuild your life. At times, for individuals, the prolonged unemployment seems to be similar to death. In the same way, for nations, the unemployment increase seems to be the nations are going to a bankruptcy. Fortunately, technology solved all our problems. At the same time, unfortunately, technology created the major problem, unemployment. But in spite of all these odds, we have the power to rise to the occasions. Individuals have power and the nations have power. Life with hard work becomes a heaven. Life with unemployment becomes a hell. In between, there is life. The life is our interview. We have to choose where we have to go. As an individual, we have to break all our psychological barriers. We have to break all our social barriers. Of course, in our path, there are so many challenges towards employment, but we have to break them. We can break all our challenges by sharpening our skills. Every day we have to update our skills. Every day we have to update ourselves. By updating ourselves, by updating our skill set, we can overcome all the challenges. The most difficult time is the wake-up call. So, it's a time to recognize our wake-up call. At the same time, nations must have a proper strategy in order to utilize the human resources proper. Population is not a burden. Population is a human resource. The leaders have to plan how constructively they can utilize these human resources. When human resources are utilized properly, the planet becomes